Okay, good, we're live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're wondering right off the bat why so many streams today, more or less algorithm. Like seriously, that's the only reason why I'm doing this at all is because YouTube algorithm. But aside from that, in reality, this is something I've been actually wanting to talk about for a while now, and that's because, well, I've been asked this a lot in person, especially from other people, and this is, why am I so damn friendly? Why am I trying to make friends with people? Why is it people, for some reason, find me overly positively aggressive friendlyism? Things like that. And to put it bluntly, it's because of high school. Yes, this is in fact an autism story and sort of why I'm aggressively friendly towards people and why I try to make a lot of friends to people. So yes, it's going to get dark and it's going to get emotional. So if you're not into that, you're more than welcome to leave, and I understand why you would leave if you're not into that sort of, well, story time. But I hope to make this to have people understand sort of how I am. And this is more or less a therapeutical thing of me getting some demons off my chest, because high school wasn't exactly the most best thing for me growing up. So if I break down crying, understand that's how emotionally it impacted me. So just fair warning ahead of time. So let's begin, shall we? High school for me was not great. Middle school wasn't great, because prior to me going to Adamsville Junior Senior High School, yes, I'm going to go ahead and name drop the school I went to, which was Adamsville Junior Senior High School. I was private schooled up till 7th grade because being autistic. And my mother was worried of how I would react to other people and sort of how I would react in a school environment. So I was privately schooled for up to 7th grade. When I went to Adamsville Junior Senior High School, immediately I was happy that a lot of my old childhood friends were there. A lot of people I had known since kindergarten were there. But this is where things get a little bit more dark. When I got to high school, I started getting picked on a bit. After 2008, when Obama was elected, I was very verbally against Obama. And I was very verbally against how the school was treating special needs kids, because the majority of the funding for special needs kids was not going towards special ed, or wasn't going towards that department. Instead, it was going towards sports teams and more or less the principal's pocket. The principal at the time was a man named Martin. And the guy was kind of a dick towards me because he was a full-blown Democrat. He voted Obama. And he was definitely someone that could ruin your life if you wanted to, if you got on his bad side. And I got on his bad side, and he tried his best to try and ruin my life. He made a lot of the players turn against me. People who I thought were friends turned against me, and more or less made my life a living hell in high school, to the point where every single day it was either, hey, retard, look at the retard over there. Look at that dumbass over there. Oh, look, it's a Nazi sympathizer or something of that nature. I was picked on a lot in high school. It wasn't until I found out about YouTube around 2010, 2011 that I actually things started looking up. But at the time, I never had my driver's license. I never had my learner's permit. And I never really hung out with my friends. I was a shut-in all through high school. I never really understood anybody and we didn't have internet at the house. We never had Wi-Fi at the house. The only way I was able to watch YouTube was at school, using a walk around to get around that stupid thing that kept you from going to YouTube and stuff like that, like Facebook, Twitter, all that good jazz. But because I was so verbal against Obama, especially our principal, so verbally against him, that he tried every way to make my life more hell and try and make me to drop out of high school. And I made it clear to the aide who was with me, because by state law, I was required to have an aide because I was autistic. And the schoolwork I hated. I wanted to go with the classes that allowed me to get my hands on, allowed me to actually work with the stuff. But Principal Martin did everything he could to try and get me to go around that. He put me in classes that he knew I hated. I would be put in trigonometry, algebra 2, calculus, classes that I was failing because I did not understand it. And at that point in life, I was sunk the lowest. And it wasn't until after I was on my final year, the final year for me to graduate and get the hell out of there, I actually started getting the classes. I started wanting. It wasn't until I was in college when I started talking to people outside of school and actually started being more friendly to people that I found out my mother actually raised hell and threatened lawsuit if I was being purposely failed. So that's something I was actually happy to find out about. But back to why I'm so friendly nowadays, because I was isolated in middle school and high school. Well, junior high and high school, more or less, I was the outcast. I was the isolated one. I did not want to socialize with anyone because at that point in time, I thought everyone was against me. And I hated everyone at that point in time. And at one point, when I actually made a YouTube video, my first YouTube video was with friends, and it was actually on Hellsing, of all things. It was anime I loved, and it was with this one guy who was another special needs student. And we just found out about YouTube, and we liked Hellsing and Hellsing Ultimate, and so we just did a video on it during lunch period. And I really found myself. I actually found joy in making videos with him. I actually found joy in that final year. But what happened was that I made at the time, pretty amateurish video of High School of the Dead. And this was like months before I was going to graduate. And at that point in time, I didn't care. I really did not care. I could have cared less as to what was going on or how it was going to affect me. I just did not care at that point. And this is where things get a little dark. So like I said, if you're not one for emotion or someone who might cry, you're welcome to click off the video right now. I will not hold it against you. But at that point, the principal was looking for any excuse to expel me, essentially, get me out of that, basically kick this. And I'm not joking here. He actually called me a problem child, a problem student, even put me in in-school suspension one time to basically kick me out of the school. And when I made that video, which is now lost to time because my mother made me delete it, I made this video and I showed off a BB gun in there, talking about one of the weapons, which was an SR-25 that was used by one of the characters in High School of the Dead, which fucking amazing zombie anime and just zombie media in general. But back to it. What happened is that the principal saw that and he called me in and sat me down for hours, 2 hours, mind you, trying to expel me, trying to make me confess that I was going to shoot up the school, that the video was a threat to shoot up the school, to be a school shooter. I held my ground. I did not. I said no. Repeatedly, I said no. And repeatedly, I said, I want to talk to a lawyer. I want to talk to a police officer. For 2 hours, I repeat myself over and over and over again. Until finally, after the 2 hour mark, when I felt my lowest, I felt like I was alone. My mother came in with not only a police officer, but our lawyer. Oh God, I feel like I want to cry now because of the emotions this is bringing up. Our lawyer came in there, and the police officer pulled me out. And my mother, you could hear my mother clear as day through that door after it was closed. She was chewing him out. She was threatening legal lawsuit against him. And at that point, I was just bawling my eyes out. I was crying because he had broken me down. I felt like I was truly alone in that moment. And it wasn't until finally, after my mother was done with him, our lawyer told him that you leave her son alone, and if we find out that you try to kick him out again or attempt to kick him out, we will sue you and the school district. And when the school district found out, Martin was in hot water apparently, as well as anyone else who was trying to go after me. Now, understand, you might think, okay, having your family's lawyer there to literally threaten lawsuit may have made my school life a little easier, right? No, it didn't. If nothing else, it at least eased the teachers trying to fail me purposely, but it did not ease the bullies who verbally assaulted me daily until graduation. And when graduation finally came, I flipped off every single person in that school who was a dick to me. And when I saw Principal Martin, I told him, fuck you and fuck this school. I am happy to be out of here. I did. I literally did. And so, yeah, I'll straight up say it now. The reason I'm so friendly now, it wasn't until college I actually started opening up, because the first 2 years of college, I was a shut-in. And I'm dead serious. I was a shut-in in college for the first 2 years. Even my roommate tried, it wasn't until my roommate opened me up that I actually started being friendly. Because at that point in time, high school had left a bitter mark on me. I literally, even in college, I honestly did not care for anyone. And it wasn't until my roommate, my first roommate, who was a cool dude, actually opened me up to making friends. I started making friends. And even now, my other friends who I've known since kindergarten will actually tell me, "Dude, you don't need to be so friendly. Calm down your friendliness. You don't got to be so friendly." The reason I'm so friendly now is because I was a shut-in in high school, because of that dark point in my life where I felt alone. I felt like nobody was on my side. That's why I'm so friendly. So yeah. So I hope that I hope that answers some questions. I will admit now that looking back at it, if I was legally savvy enough, I would have called out Principal Martin on discrimination and tried to urge my mother to sue the school or sue him for discrimination lawsuits. But now I look back at it, all that pain, all that suffering I went through in high school has made me a better person. And while, yes, people will ask me, why are you friends with that person? Why are you friends with that person? Why I need you to not talk to that person, or, things like that, where they'll question me and sort of why I'm so friendly with people that they see as dicks or might not see as good people. I'll simply say it's because I've already seen hell in high school, and I want to be friends with everyone. That's how I am. So yeah, if you guys actually would like another story time, kind of talking about me as a person, or sort of more or less kind of the stuff that happened in the past that has molded me into the person I am today, then let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al, the common man's airsofter who tries to be friends with everyone, because I didn't have any friends in high school. Till next time.